All right, today we're diving into a really powerful concept, how to build your own personal operating system. We're going to call it a strategic flywheel, and it's all about making you, well, irreplaceable, especially with everything changing so fast with AI.
So let's just start with this, because it's a pretty stark reality in the professional world right now. If you are comparable, you are replaceable. It's that simple. And that's why the goal isn't just about being a little bit better than the next person, it's about being fundamentally different.
And look, this whole idea of being different, it's more critical now than ever before. Why? Because AI is making smart the new normal. It's becoming the baseline. So your true, lasting advantage, your edge, isn't just about what you know. It's about the unique combination of skills and systems that only you can put together.
So yeah, let's really break this down. We're living in a new reality where the old ways of measuring value, just being smart or fast, they just don't cut it anymore. They're not enough to guarantee your spot. We really need a whole new way of thinking about what makes us valuable.
Just think about this for a second. For a massive chunk of the work we do, AI can now get the first draft, the first pass, about 80% of the way there. Now, on one hand, that's amazing, but on the other, what does that mean for our value? It means our real defensible skill has shifted. It's all about that last 20% now, the tricky part that needs real human judgment, creativity, and nuance.
Okay, so where do we even begin to build this kind of unique edge? Well, it all starts with you. It starts with your core. I mean, you can't build a house without knowing what your materials are, right? In this case, the material is you. I want you to think about it like this. What's your cognitive fingerprint? Everyone's fingerprint is unique, and so is the way your brain is wired. The way you think, the way you solve problems, it's all you. What are you naturally good at? And what just completely drains you? Getting honest answers to these questions is absolutely the first step. So how can we actually map this stuff out? Well, here's a really simple but super powerful tool called the SU score. For any skill you have, you just ask yourself 3 things. Is it a strength or a weakness? Is the way you do it unique or pretty common? And does it come easy to you, or is it a real grind? Being really honest here gives you an incredible map of your own personal landscape. And to add another layer to that map of yourself, we've got something called the ASE profile. Now, this isn't about what you can do, it's about what you naturally value. Are you more of an artist, always asking, is it beautiful? Or a scientist, focused on, is it true? Or maybe an engineer who just wants to know, does it work? The thing is, we're all a mix of these 3, and figuring out your own personal blend, that reveals your deepest drivers. Okay, so once you have that really clear map of who you are at your core, the next part is to build an engine around it. And what I mean by that is creating personal systems that are specifically designed to play to your unique strengths.
But here's the thing, not all systems are built the same. You don't want some perfectly manicured system that's so rigid it breaks the second something unexpected happens. Nope. The goal is to grow a comfy garden. A system that's organized, for sure, but also has room to breathe, to adapt, to let new ideas sprout up. That's where the real magic, the real innovation, actually happens.
So how do you actually grow that comfy garden? It can be as simple as something called the Dora method. You don't have to have this grand plan from the start. You just do something. Then you step back and observe what's working and what's not. You take a moment to review what you noticed, and then you act on it to make the system just a little bit better. It's just a simple, constant loop of getting better over time.
Now, the actual building blocks of these systems, we can call them iPods. Think of them as your own little personal work engines. So for example, reading a book. The input is the book itself. The process is you reading it and taking notes. The output is, say, a 1-page summary. And the destination is your Notes app. And here's where it gets really cool. The magic happens when the output from one of these little engines becomes the input for another one. That's how you start building momentum.
Okay, a quick but really important heads up as you're building these systems. You have to watch out for the trap of OS tops. That stands for obvious solutions to obvious problems. This is when you're basically just putting a Band-Aid on a much deeper wound. It feels like you're being productive, but all you're doing is treating a symptom, not the actual disease. So before you jump to fix something, you gotta force yourself to stop and ask, wait, what is the real problem here?
So once you really know yourself and you've got these solid systems running, something amazing happens. You free up a ton of mental space. And that's when we get to the final piece of this puzzle, building your compass. This is all about learning to see what's coming next.
Now let's be clear, this isn't about trying to predict the future with a crystal ball. It's a practice, a discipline called precasting.
It's really just a structured way of making educated guesses based on what you see happening right now, combined with your own unique insights. And the goal isn't to be right all the time. The point is to get better at understanding the world by seeing how things actually play out. And there's a process for it. It starts with just noticing a trend that's happening now. Then you ask yourself, okay, what if this gets 10 times bigger? You play that out. You think about what the impact would be, what new problems that would create, and then, and this is the important part, you create a bridge strategy. That's just a fancy way of saying you figure out what you can do right now to get ready for that possible future.
And to help with all this, you can use something called mind movers. These are basically just thinking tools, right? They're little mental exercises designed to shake you out of your normal thinking patterns. They help you question your own assumptions and spot opportunities that everyone else is missing.
All right, so let's bring this all back to the main idea, the flywheel. Because knowing yourself, building your systems, and seeing the future, these aren't just three separate things you do. They are all interconnected parts of one single, powerful engine.
Here's how it all connects. Knowing your unique core helps you build the right systems for you. Having those systems in place frees up your brain power so you can actually see the future, and then what you learn from looking ahead feeds back and helps you understand your core even better. See? Each part makes the others stronger. It just keeps spinning faster and faster.
So what's the whole point of this flywheel? What's the end game? It's to get you out of the competition game entirely. See, most people out there are just trying to sell slightly better apples in a market that's already full of apples. The purpose of this whole system is to help you start selling bananas, to create a whole new category for yourself where you're the only one.
Or, to put it another way, your goal is to create an apple that is so unique, so different, that people don't even think of it as an apple anymore. You're trying to escape comparison completely.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. The world is absolutely full of people trying to make a slightly better apple. The real question is, what's your banana going to be? What new, unique category are you going to create for yourself?